of Parliament, including people who have been appointed to serve in those boards. Capes, before you announce to Kenyans that there is a wheat flour on shelf which is contaminated, you should be doing that when you are at home. Because it is your responsibility to make sure that that wheat flour do not get on shelves when it is contaminated.
You're right.
Now, for you to tell us it is at shelves and it is contaminated, you should be at home. The law and the Curbs Act is very clear.
True.
That bucket, where, I mean, how that unga is packed, there is a sticker of Capes which says it is good. So any Kenyan seeing that Capes sticker on your food, all right, on the food they want to buy, they assume this has been certified by Capes.
Yeah.
So if you certify it and it goes to chefs, it has your logo. Then you tell us, this thing bearing my logo is contaminated. What are you saying? You are saying, Mr. President, can you receive my resignation letter? This is what it should be. I am a chairman of Water Resource Authority. And before I tell people that that water is bad, I normally go on the ground and have my people test water which Kenyans take on a daily basis. And the moment I detect anything, I raise a flag before I go to TV or before I go to news. And if now people start ulabalu or yapping, then I say, no, I gave a certificate on this particular date. Which date did you give a certificate to this flour mill to tell them, do not produce because this maize, because they are supposed to test even the maize before they are produced. What are they doing? They are killing Kenyans. They are killing the economy. Because that businessman, that man who has that factory, how many people has he employed? How much has he ejected into his business to pack that 2 kilos? Do you know how much it costs? Hell, you have got no idea. Then you wait until that flour is on the shelves. Then you come here happy around and telling Kenyans. These are the people who are failing the president. It is Mutambos and the rest who have been appointed the president who are failing him. It is not the president. Because the president is not going to stick a stick on Wunga
Yes.
packet.
Right.
It is that person, that MD, the one who have been told you are the person in charge. Get your men on the ground. You should be having your people. There is a road being offloaded of maize. Make sure that truck which is being offloaded, don't let those people self-evaluate them. Before they offload those maize, test it before it is.
You know,
If I could call it that name.
And also, it is also the Kenyans who fail themselves. The reason being, people like that now, if they've been arrested or they're told to step aside or taken to court, who are the people who come out and defending those people, the same people saying, oh, my person is being targeted, my person is being, you see, we also need to leave that culture aside. We agree, yes, there's a serious problem with kebs, and it is not only with this maize flour. There's an issue with the sugar, there's issue with rice, there's issue with oil, you see. And there's serious issues, by the way, because they keep collecting money, you know. And the other time I saw the DCI raiding some warehouses and removing the kebs, stickers, you know, people using those ones and, you know,
making fake
ones. And so there is a serious problem in the kebs. And I want to agree with Mheshimiwa John Mtambo that, yes, the president appointed these people, yes. But he can't be the one testing, you see, the food and putting the stickers. I agree with him. If they fail, he should also crack the whip.
Yes.
Mr. Weda? You know why it's amazing? Mheshimiwa says the problem with Kenyans. And when people are arrested, they go and say, I don't think Kedero was arrested. I didn't see Luos ganging up to say Kedero is our own. I've seen the former Minister of Finance arrested. We only blame Kenyans, ourselves, for electing the wrong people. The problem is in Parliament, where they are supposed to represent us, they are supposed to give us the laws, they are supposed to pass laws, they are supposed to look at the debt limit, all this. They are not doing that. They're just dancing in Kipera. When you hear what they are proud of, they are proud of our sitting there, guarding votes, doing what somebody has come all the way from Mandera. If you look at Wajir, And you see their member of parliament, their rep, yapping here. She was in Kibera, you know, oh, Allah, please save us, because they got it wrong. The president, please, let's get this.
Don't pick me alone.
Let's get
many
this.
members who are there, and I have the right to protect the votes, and I have the right to support. No, I'm not going to take that. No, I'm not going to take that. You have issues with the parliament because you've never gotten an elected.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I have not.
Yeah.
Right.
So before you talk about a member of parliament, go and seek vote. That is when you will appreciate being a member of parliament.
Okay, let me just say that.
Don't just pick
Please,
on members of parliament.
this is not your kitchen. Just listen. I make my point.
This is not also your fish market.
What I'm saying is, our president, I'm talking about our president because we love him so much. And there are people who are trying. Please, this is...
All right, let's stick to the issues. Yes, I agree.
Allow me to have the two. Allow me to have the two.
Because there's a reason why
because we have to move on to another topic.
So let's where we debate nicely. We don't fight. We just address issues as they are.
Address issues.
And I think what Weda is trying to say, he has the point you need to do, you need to tell him that there are enough laws in the country.
Of course.
When he says members need to go out there and make laws, tell him there are laws. Right. Okay? Don't tell him he has never been elected. And when you say that you have all the right to go and guard the vote, you care less who comes to parliament. Yeah. Whoever comes to parliament is a Kenyan. And I praise whoever comes to parliament, whether from whichever party, so long as a good Kenyan who can make good laws for people of Kenya.
Right.
And I think Weda has a reason when he believes that there's something wrong in the parliament. Yeah, let us agree to be criticized. Yes. Me, I love it. Yes. When you criticize me, I love it more.
Let us move on to the main topic of the day, which takes us back to Kibra, and hopefully we can keep it civil, because this is a very emotive issue, but we have to talk about it, right? So we are talking about...
cut short, remember?
Okay, so would you like to give a brief...
What I was saying about the maize and my president, I love my president, and I want him, when he retires, he has a good legacy. You understand that? Now, and it is on basic things. The other people will come and cheer you on. Oh, Your Excellency, do this BBI. Oh, you are in Kibera. Oh, you did this. But when you hear that somebody is dead in Turkana because of food, when you hear somebody is dead in Baringo, when you see the desolation in Wajir, you understand? Then you say, Your Excellency, what we promised Kenyans was food. Sufficient good food, affordable quality healthcare. Those are the things. Then jobs.
Yeah.
Jobs, you live here in the morning, you go and work there in the afternoon, you go there and work at night. These are what we talked about. Then when you finish that, then you can do luxuries about going to Kibera or BBI or BBC. Now, we have been reduced to eating poisonous food. And we have no choice. And it is not small people. Whether here is reduced to eating kifaru, poison. And this is where we are crying, and that's why I'm complaining. And so when somebody tells me, oh, you are president, it is these other people, it is the president we elected, and we gave him power to hire Mutambo in the morning. If the water is contaminated, to sack Mutambo at 10, to hire Achieng in the afternoon. If Achieng is misbehaving, and we'll say, continue sacking and hiring. So for him also to sit and people trying to say here, you know, the president does not do it. They don't do it in parliament. They also want the president not to do anything, and then they yap. This is what we are saying. No, my president, we want a good legacy. Rein in on these people. Rein in on them again and again. Don't go into guarding votes in Kibera. Go into working, administration. Leave those other charlatans and jokers to do it.
Now, I'd like to read some of your views that are coming out through Twitter. We asked you whether you think your political parties should actually consult you before political fallouts or political realignments. And we have here Dennis Mose saying voters don't need to be consulted, not at all, unless they stop tribal voting patterns. Most of these political parties are owned by tribal kings and not voters. Then we have August Rush saying, we elect leaders to make informed legal decisions on our behalf. This will be an unending circus. Now, I'd like my panel to give me what they view as the possible fallouts following Kibra and the possible realignments before we get into, the nitty-gritty of it. I'll start with you, Mr. Weda.
I think Kibra, if you ask me, it is all, there's BBI, there's 2022.
Yes.
And I think the deputy president was trying to have an entry, and he's made a big point. the outcome of the BBI, and if there's a referendum, the outcome of that referendum will be the basis upon which you are creating the future coalitions. For now, it is 2.5 years old to that time. And it will depend on how stable the handshake remains. If there's a referendum, which side wins. And the side that wins, then it will depend on who is likely to be president. For now, some people think Raila is likely to be president. So you hear some MPs very allied to him. Now, when he changes today, if he walks in and does a handshake with the deputy president,
right,
you will see them turn again and say, now, Uhuru is the problem. So what I'm trying to say is this, that the realignments today will be too early taken into that, because there are two major events: the outcome of the handshake, possible referendum. As to whether people should be consulted when alignments are done, I have said and I repeat, the people are like a bag of potatoes. You carry them where you want to go, where you don't want to go, you leave them, you go. Where you reach, you need them as a bridge, you come back and pick them. So for now, the people will wait, and nobody will consult them about realignment. President Uhuru and Honorable Raila and Deputy President and Musalia, they wake up one day and say, we want to do this coalition. And then they do it, and then they come and sell. They come and tell the people of Wajir, Mheshimiwa, this is the direction. You don't like it, you'll be voted out. So the people for now have no say. Many years later after election, they'll have a say. When they'll have a say, we will consult them. For now, they don't have a say. If they say handshake in the morning, we go. If Raila says at noon, akuna handshake, I go. If Uhuru says turn left, Mr. Weda, you have to leave Raila today, I'll say, Your Excellency, I'm game. For now. Another 10 years, 20 years, then when people now take their vote seriously, when they decide so-and-so can serve, so-and-so cannot, when they reach that maturity, then they will be consulted.
Yes, and the bigger issue here is the political maturity, because at the end of the day, some of these realignments are not necessarily influenced by issues or the good of the people. They're influenced by a lot of other interests that are behind our political agenda. Honorable Gedi, what do you foresee from the Kibra election?
What I see about Kibra, Kibra, it wasn't only a by-election.
Yes.
It was about BBI in 2022. And why I'm saying BBI, because we're expecting the BBI's report any time from now. And what we want to see is the issues that people have been raising. Election malpractices, issues of land, issues of devolution, issues of governance, education and all that to be in that report. And BBI, when it went round, it collected the views of the 47 counties. So we want to hear what was the views and what have they recommended that. Consulting the public, the voters, party members. I think people have elected their representative. And from different regions, people have regional leaders.
Yes.
And I think once you have the leaders that you trusted, I think they will come and say, this is the way we think our people to go. And this is the direction we think people will follow. Whether there is a fallout on BBI, I don't think so.
But what about, we are told that after Kibra, you see NASA is no longer the NASA we knew, you understand? So there are some changes that are coming out of Kibra politically. What's your take on that?
Really, it is we are in a democratic country.
Yes.
NASA, even 2017 when it was strong, they had candidates. They were competing amongst themselves at the constituency level, county level, but when it comes to up there, they were NASA. For me, I don't think there is a big, we don't need to dramatize for now, because I don't think whether NASA has really died for now. Let's wait and see, because it's too early, honestly, to say, because it is democratic right for every party to vie and go to at that level. For maybe you're saying this because you saw Mutua, Governor Mutua, and Charity Ngilu in Kibra.
Yes.
I think as governors, they've decided to come and support, you see. And you can't tell someone, don't come and support me. If somebody wants to support you, you open the doors. Yeah. And if somebody doesn't want to support you, you don't force that person. I think it's too early to speculate for me. Yeah.
And also not just NASA, the Jubilee we knew is not the Jubilee that it was today, because obviously we've seen from the way party affiliates or the coalition affiliates are behaving, there are possible what some are calling divorces in the wake. So on Mr.
Of course, Jubilee we have in Jubilee. You know me, I'm Jubilee. I'm not a ODM.
Yes.
I'm Jubilee. Jubilee, we have two groups.
Yes.
We have the Kieleweke and we have the Tanga. And those who are Kieleweke are the ones who are supporting the handshake. The Tanga are the ones who are opposing the handshake and supporting the deputy president. You see?
Yes.
So the Kieleweke ones are saying, we are supporting the handshake, bring the BBI, let's see the BBI. If there is something that is not, okay, let us correct. The Tanga ones are saying, no, we don't want BBI, we don't want referendum, we don't want handshake. What we want is 2022, and we want the president, and our president is this person. So there's that division in Jubilee. And the division is our president. When he shook hands with Raila Amolo Odinga, you saw as this country, there's a political stability right now. Maybe a fool is somebody who doesn't want to appreciate and see the reality on the ground.
Okay.
Right now, a Kikuyu can go to Kisumu and Nyanza and do businesses. A Luo can go to Central. You see, that was not there before. You can see now the investors are back, the donors are back. It wasn't there. We were on the street.
Yeah.
We were fighting. We could not do our business. It is true, and that is the reality.
Mr. Weda, I would like to ignore your mischievous laugh for now. Mr. Gwanda, please come into the conversation and tell us what you think
about
about
want to accept the reality.
Yeah, possible political divorces in the way.
Let me start by congratulating Imran Okoth for clinching Kibera parliamentary seat. I also want to thank Mariga for really coming out bravely and saying congratulations, Imran. And I will wish to work with you in future. I was seeing a situation where Imran was becoming a man, his own man, not being held like a dog, tied with a leash and being shown where to go. And I think that's who Imran, in my view, was in Kibera. He was not a man of his own. He was brought in, he really didn't know what was happening, and he came in and he realized that it was not a walk in the park. You had to do a lot of other things for you to ascend to that position. I also want to thank the people of Kibera who thought that they needed a man of their own. They needed a man from their constituency, who lived in that constituency, who knew their problem, who wanted to walk with them at the walk of the needs that are in that constituency. When I heard the deputy president say how many things they want to bring in there when Imran becomes the member of parliament, I wondered which country was coming from, because the last I checked, he was actually the deputy president of this country. And if he knew those very problems in that constituency, the question is, why were they not handled before? Was Mariga the only blue chip or the gold that could be dangled in the 21st century in 2019 that could solve those many problems that have not been solved in the past? And he is sitting in the government, is not able to solve them. Only Mariga will be able to do it. Then I wondered which country we are living in, because the country we live in is a country where the government is supposed to know the needs of the people, is supposed to do public participation and know the needs of the people, and get into their problems and solve those very problems. The problems in Kibera are known to everybody in the world. It's education, lack of amenities in that place. Infrastructure and service development is the poorest because it's a slum. It is the poor housing that people have there. It's lack of jobs. It is a place where people are not even able to have water into their houses. Those are the main problems. The question is, what has the government done in the last 50 plus years about it?
But there's something to be said about representation, and that's why Mariga was, important.
Yeah, but the government need to know what is happening in every corner of this country. When they know who's being voted for in Uganda, they should know what is happening in Kibera, which is in the city here. So that's not a question we want to handle today. But when we come into the issues of political alignment and divorces and NASA breaking, I really think we don't know the politics of this country to even start imagining that they will break. Because this country, it is not about those parties. It is about the individuals who know each other very well, and they know the strength of each other. And when the right time comes, and they know that if I stick with Raila, I will get this bit of pie, they'll stick with Raila. If they know that when I stick with Ruto, I will get this pie, they will stick with Ruto. If they know that this time round I stick with Uhuru Kenyatta and I will get this thing, they will all come in. And let me tell you, our politicians have no shame. Even the very people that they insulted yesterday, like Honorable Alwali, you can see that he's ready to die for that very person on the field, carrying stone on his behalf. Meanwhile, that man is seated in his house in Karen, really enjoying and sipping a bit of coffee. But Kalwale is in the trenches. What I want to say is the death of NASA is not it. Because these are individuals, they are friends. Raila needs the Luya community than any other place in this country. Because that has been his stronghold. Look at the history of the voting. Raila has gotten a lot of his support from Western Province. He needs them. Raila needs people in the Eastern if he's ever going to run for president in this country. He needs every Kamba there, and it's not a time for him to break out with them. You saw what Wiper did, and we're talking about Honorable Msioka. And you saw that when he ran and became became the deputy president, the vice president of Kibaki, Honorable Kibaki, there was a lot of acrimony and disagreement. But they're the team that formed NASA eventually.
Honorable
So what I'm saying is we are reading far much into this without knowing that these are individual chess game and it is not about the political parties.
Honorable Mutambo, do you think there's nothing to worry about as far as this divorce is concerned, impending divorce?
Somebody told me, when you don't know anything, or you ask a question which you don't have an answer, you better keep quiet. Because you may find yourself saying things which at the end of the day, they'll make you look like a person who do not understand this world. Question number one is, who was vying in Kibera? Did you ever saw the candidates campaigning for themselves? And I heard something Mheshimiwa Gate said here, if you want to be a politician, go out there and look for votes, to get your own votes, to know what it feels to get votes. To me, that is a very strong statement. Because I know as Mutambo, when I traverse through constituency of Mwingi Central alone, trying to get my votes, what it means. But you know what it means when you are sleeping and somebody else is looking for votes for you. That's exactly what happened in Kibera. I don't know. You guys, you can't see it. Who was in Kibera looking for votes? It was Ruto. It was Gedi. Gedi was not vying in Kibera, but she will tell you I was protecting. I never saw anybody protecting my votes, for God's sake. I never saw anybody. I never saw no one. All right?
We did it alone.
So the people who are vying in Kibera are the luckiest people. And I don't know. As much as he keeps on saying, Kibera, they knew what they wanted. I want to tell you, if Kibera knew what they wanted, what we could have done for those people to exercise their democratic rights is to say we have Weda, we have Atmagedi, we have Mutambo, go to Kibera. And Raila Amolo Odinga goes to America and have a cup of tea. And Ruto goes to, I don't know where, and have his, what he will take, Mursik there. And let the people of Kibera elect their own men. The people of Kibera did not elect their own men. They elected their leaders up there, not down here. You want to take that to the back, take it. You want to ignore it at your own peril. But that is exactly what happened.
Right.
That is the truth which you do not want to talk about. Come back. You are seeing Mutua stepping in the position where Kalonzo used to sit. And you want to tell me there is no divorce? Ask me about campus. I know what is happening now in Cumberland. Actually, today, the narrative of campus today is what Raila told them when he said, Wakamba ni kama mama. That is the narrative. And if you want to try it, send Raila now to Sekuru. He will have no place to address people today. Why? Because that is where Kalonzo comes from. If you want to know it, send Raila to Kimwengi. He will have no place to address people unless he apologizes for that comment he made. Mutua tried to come and try to sugarcoat the way I'm talking about, sugarcoating of issues. So if we do not address these issues as they are, we are lying to ourselves. We do not have political parties in this country. I said it once, and I have no apology to make. All what we have is special purpose vehicles to take us to where we want to go. And the moment we reach there, we dump them. Do we consult the voters? Hell no.
No, we do not.
Because Wedas has just said it correctly. And it cannot be said, I cannot agree with Wedas, no. I mean, he has just said it the way it's supposed to be said. So that person who votes, if you want to feel the pinch, and you correct your misdoing, that you are electing people not of your choice, but those who've been told to elect, because we do not, she will do a lot of work for people of where she comes from. But I want to tell you, because you know they also have what we call negotiated democracy in their area. If they were saying sits down and says, we do not want her back in parliament, I want to tell you she will not come. What have you done that? You have negated the right of that person to vote for the person they want.
Okay.
All right? For that voter. So the voters, to your answer, they are not consulted. They will not be consulted. I am sorry, my good people. You are the people who do the work, but nobody will consult you. Mutambo and Weda will sit up here and will make a decision for you. Baba Kisoma Katiba. Now, what do you say?
Mr. Wade, I wonder where you lie with this one, because Mr. Agwanda has dismissed these possible divorces. But then in my thinking, Kibra, if there was a sense of unity, Kibra would have been the place where they wouldn't even field their own candidates. It would be the place to demonstrate this sort of political alignment and unity. But you saw what happened. Everyone was going
I remember in this program, I said long time when Baba was purportedly sworn in Uhuru Park, I said NASA is dead. Basically dead, historically and going forward. Because going to 2022, you need to restructure a new winning formula. So you can't hang around with everybody. Baba has not done so before. You make coalitions when it is near. Even 2022. There's a question which will arise, a question of ICC. Now it has not, but that time it arise. Some of us who know the law, we will also tell the President, Your Excellency, there is this ICC. Think 3 times. So there are many things which are coming, but NASA died because it had done its purpose. What was its purpose? For people to run elections that time. There will be somebody who wants to choose a running mate. There will be people like Kalonzo saying, oh, we agreed you run and you don't run again. And Baba doesn't want to hear that. If he decides to run and you try to tell him it was 1 bullet, he tell you, I didn't fire it because I didn't get to State House. So how do you do it? You scatter everybody first so that when you come, you only call those who will listen to you. So if Kalonzo will not listen, you call somebody else. So NASA itself is dead. But NASA is just a name. The people themselves are alive. They will re-emerge in another name, in another coalition. Originally, it was TNA-URP.
Yes.
It got power, and there was no fallout. But when they were coming to 2017, they re-emerged as Jubilee. Maybe there will be re-emergence of Handshake or BBI Party of Kenya, one side. Honorable Ruto will also merge with the Kieleweke stroke Tangatanga movement. It will come. It will depend with the dynamics at that time. For now, the issues that are being tackled between now and 2022 does not need a coalition like NASA. And because it does not need, Raila is a player, he's also a footballer. He knows when you don't need the whole team. You can talk to the coach only. You can talk to who. You can talk to the players. You can talk to... So that is what he's doing. Let's not see it as a divorce. Let's just see it as a realignment for the realities today.
Yeah.
Honorable, what will come if the BBI comes, the way I can see, and they say they're going to reduce 20 constituencies to 10. If they try to do that, I know, likely my semi-constituency where I live may have to go. You understand that? What it means is that we will oppose that BBI, even if Raila and President, they come riding on one horse. You understand? Places which he represents, they'll be merged. The whole county will be merged into one constituency because everybody in your county are not even the number of people in my constituency. So when we are going by law, by the constitution, if we are going by what is there, people will be merged into one constituency, and that will be war. And they understand. So the realignments today are for modern, current issues.
Yes.
Going forward, please wait for another 2 years, things change. Allow me to correct one thing.
Yes.
That before the BBI, Mheshimiwa said, Kikuyus will not go to Lowland, and Lowland will not go to Nini. That is the biggest lie you can see on national TV. In fact, even in 2017, Hon Raila got so many votes in Kiambu. At one time, the president had to go there to beg his own people. Because his own people said, we are not electing you, we are electing Raila. It has brought calm, peace. But at individual level, that hostility is not there. Do you understand that? Even then, don't think that, let's not spread propaganda here on TV that before BBI, if a Kikuyu went to Kisumu, he would be beaten up. That's nonsense.
But Mr.
There are
Weda,
many Kikuyus there. There are many Luos in Kiambu. The disagreement only came when it comes to political issues.
Yeah.
You understand? I was a keen supporter of Uhuru. I'm still a keen supporter of Uhuru. I live in Lowland. I go there every day. Even I went to vote the first time. When they now refused to bring ballots the second time, now I couldn't vote. We Luos, we know how to disagree on political matters, but we rarely shed blood. We love this. Even you come. We'll elect you the way we elected Junet Mohammed, even if you are, please. So don't paint us as very bad people that we can't come to Lula. No, we don't do that.
Yes, but there was a lot of political tension before that.
Tension we are used to.
I didn't point to Lua as bad people.
Yeah.
In fact, what I meant was this. Before the handshake, you know, where are we? You know, I'm not saying people could not, what I meant was before the handshake, we had many demonstrations.
Yes.
We had 2017, what happened? That baby Pendo who was killed in Kisumu.
Killed by police.
Yeah, you see, those are the tensions that we didn't want. And now we're enjoying the peace. After the handshake. That's what I meant. After the handshake.
Okay, now let's
that's what I meant. And that is what we want now.
Yes.
We want a Kenya that is one. We want inclusivity. We want, everybody to go any part of this country. We want that unity.
Yes.
And the unity for me was brought by the handshake. And the reason why now we're having the BBI, I can see there are proposals here saying there's BBI. I don't agree with this. I think it's too early. We don't know what the BBI is. Let us wait for this. Is still speculation.
Okay.
Because there is no way you can say a whole entire county to be reduced to one. You see, there is that geographical population. There is also the geographical. There is poverty index. There is a lot of things, and the constitution itself is very clear on issues of communication, community, diversity. Geographical areas. It is not about population. So population is one key, yes, but also there's going to be other factors. So for now, I think it's too early. Land itself, yes.
Yes, and as we go back to the top, he has mentioned the URP, TNA emergence has not been, not rather emergence, but they have not been as pronounced in recent political history as it was during the Kibra elections. What's your take on that, and what do you think it spells for the future?
The URP and TNA. I don't think whether we have a URP and TNA now.
Really?
We have Kieleweke and Tanga Tanga.
Tanga Tanga, okay.
And Mariga was a Tanga Tanga candidate. Yeah. And the handshake candidate was Emran. Right. And that's why you saw the members of Jubilee from Kieleweke, Maina Kamanda, Kinahanwe Guru, they were there. They were there to support Emran. And Emran was not just an ODM candidate for us. He was the handshake candidate. Yeah.
Do you think we will now be falling, as he has said, into our...
Let me just allow me to accept there's this reality.
Yes.
The politics of Kenya for now, and a few years coming, is still based on the sub-nation blocks. Sub-nation blocks are called tribal blocks. And therefore, it will be, is our son, is our daughter in which block? For instance, you talk about ODM. ODM can be closed this morning. It's over. And then nobody will bother. We will not bother. But we'll just ask, Baba is where? If Baba is saying, now I'm with Uhuru in the handshake party or BBI party of Kenya, I'll say, now I'm in BBI because Uhuru is there and Raila is there, so where do I go there? Do you understand that?
Yes.
The Kalenjins will be asking, where is Mheshimiwa Ruto? As Honorable Raila calls him Arap Mashamba.
Yeah.
Whereas Raila will say Arap Mashamba on the other side. So the Kalenjins say, where is he? He's on Kelewek. You'll see the Kalenjins on Kelewek. Then there are fringe nations, fringe ones. Then they check who's going to win. Now that's where Mheshimiwa falls. Who's going to win? Then they go there. They have no voice of their own. But everything is trouble inclined. That's why you see Mutua trying to get Mheshimiwa Kalonzo out so that he gets in and then controls the camp. If you are able to control these tribal communities, you have your tribe. If I was to take over from Raila today, the Luo kingpin, you people will treat me differently. She'll not be talking me, you can't be elected. She'll be saying, Mheshimiwa Weda, I'm with you, we support you. It is only that I have not gotten my tribal block. I am praying I'll get one. Joe Mutambo is praying to take over the canvas. And then, now when he goes to the negotiating table, they realign politics. We are still doing it politics in terms of tribe. Yeah. One day we will do it in terms of ability. And that time the voter will have a voice. Yeah. And then we will be able to talk about maize. Today, I expect I'm sending you, Mr. when you go to Parliament, please throw tantrums about ugali. Throw tantrums, rebel, jump.
Do you agree with this? We're still just prisoners of our own tribal affiliations, rather than political parties or their alignment. It doesn't really matter where they move. It's just all about tribe.
I totally agree with those sentiments. Today we are seeing issues with TNA and URP that has now changed names into Kileleweke and Tangatanga. And Jubilee is, or in other words, split into two parties. And by the way, we've been in this debate long enough, and we said it way back there that Jubilee was in two factions. Do you know something? The Deputy President will come out every single day and tell us how united Jubilee is, unfortunately. I mean, there's a time that you need to reach and say, this is the truth. There's a bit of disagreement on these parties, and for that reason, we are not able to work well. In civil society, in a civil society, in a society where people know who they are and they're strong enough, if they disagree so much in politics, they will say, I resign and I need to start a new chapter in my life. He'll be respected hugely. There's a minister in UK who has just resigned because his aide was mentioned to have aided some issues, and he said, I resigned because I don't think I'll be able to represent my people properly in this manner.
Even with David
but in
Cameron,
Kenya,
it was the same
our
situation.
Politicians are the biggest liars. Even if
the Kenyan one.
The Kenyans, Kenyan politicians. And even if they know this is wrong, they will still literally say it is right. But when you go have tea with them, they will tell you how that bad thing, how things are bad. They will tell you what is happening. But when they come on TV here, my friend, they will really support their candidate and say how good it is. We've sat with them. And they will tell you there's a problem in this country. But on TV, they will never accept that because our politics is politics of tumbo and power. It is politics of tumbo and power, and you don't care so long as your boss tells you go right, as Weda will want to say it, go left, you just go that direction. We are having issues. When we are having issues in this country, we need to address them. We are so much into politics that our politicians are not thinking about our roads, they're not thinking about our food, we are having issues, they're not thinking about what will happen with our rice, that was condemned. They're not thinking about what is happening with our oil that find itself on the table, and what happened to it. They're not asking those fundamental questions. They're asking, guys, what are you going to do in these organizations that you've been, when they're interviewing? Yes. And we've also had issues where there have been allegations of bribe. When the interest cap was taking place, and I'm very happy it has been captured here on Nation, is this Kenya's greediest banker. Yeah. When they were talking about members of parliament saying, this will not happen, and we can tell the president for the first time, we will remain members of parliament, and we will decide against this.
Absolutely.
When the time came, they could not raise 233 members of parliament.
They don't show up.
Now we are being told a lot of money was used for these members of parliament not to come to parliament. Once you get a number out, then the few who are here are insignificant for that reason. And so when we're talking about issues of politics, when we're talking about parties, not individuals, we are still far away. It is only going to be such a time when the Kibakis are out of politics, when the Odingas are out of politics, when the Kenyatas are out of politics, then perhaps a new breed of people will come up, and the Luos will say, who's going to be our kingpin? No, this man is not as strong as a Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, and we cannot give him our undivided support for that reason. The Central will start saying, no, it's not just the Kenyatas. Yes. The Eastern will say, no, it's not just Kalonzo. We need to think about our immediate leaders here. We are probably about 20 years to that.
Yes, Honorable Mtambo, please give me your sentiments briefly as we go on break.
I'll give you in a very brief manner.
Yes.
And I don't care what weather thinks about me. I will say this. Kenyans are slaves to political masters. We are slaves. Slaves. Nothing else. There's no way you can put it. We are all slaves to our political kingpins. Kambas are slaves to one political kingpin. Luos are slaves of one political kingpin. Luyas are slaves to particular kingpins. And that's it. It cannot, you can't call it any other way.
Yes.
They are to elders.
Yes.
No, we are not.
There are people.
Elders.
No, I agree totally. If today, weather is so right in every comment, I think he did a research. Weather is very right. There are those who will look at who is about to win. We will join that. And they will sit down and say, these ones are winning. We must go where these people are winning and join them. I want to tell you, I told Kambas with the loudest voice that Uhuru will win. They never listened to me. They listened to Kalonzo. They only came to Jubilee after Kalonzo said, Mimi ni mtu ya mkono. That is the only time Kambas came to Jubilee. But I spent 3 years telling Kambas, Uhuru will win. Let us join hands with Uhuru. I was told, you are a mad man. And you are selling the community. Why? Because they are slaves. Right? If anybody went around and told Luos that, please let us join Uhuru, he is winning, he could have been lynched. And actually, I remember that sometimes we went to evacuate him. We went to evacuate him. I remember, we went to evacuate him. But the day Baba shook hand, everyone, the best defender of Uhuru became Millie Odhiambo. The first one. To say, if you dare touch Uhuru, then I was like, oh, who is this talking? Now, the people who were supporting Uhuru, like Mutambo, we were left somewhere called like this. Because now, the people with the big voice have come, and we have to give them space. And that is our democracy we have in this country, which to me, according to my opinion, it is too wrong. Let me correct my good friend.
Oh, we have to get good.
Our Kenyans, yes,
We've
I
run
know
out
that
of time, unfortunately.
But Kenyans do not look at what you do.
Yes.
They look at their leaders at the top.
Yeah, that seems to be
the... We appreciate all politics are local.
Yes.
That's what you're telling us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That is the sentiment that is emerging, that alignments only depend on, you know, who is at the helm, which is not ideal. It should be about issues, but keep the conversation going. Online, we asked you a question. Do you believe voters should